SGC here, and we are back with a movie review. And this time I'm doing an English version of a Hong Kong Chinese movie review titled As the Light Goes Out. It's a 2014 Hong Kong Chinese disaster film directed by Kwok, and it stars Nicholas Tse, Sean Yu, Simon Yam, and Hu Jun, and Andy On, and Bai Bing. So basically it's about just firefighters doing their job. And that's pretty much the plot. They fight, save people from a fiery building. That's pretty much it. So going straight into the review, what did I like about this film? I really enjoyed the whole concept of the story, that it wasn't just random things that happen and then they're like, oh, we gotta save that fire, now we're gonna go save that fire. But rather it's the pacing and the build up to like, oh, this is a normal fire that we rescued and something's gonna happen now. Oh, we should take care of it, blah, blah, blah. And then it just progresses. And like, oh no, my son's actually there or something, and then it's like it's not those random, oh, what a coincidence, scars sort of movie, but rather the build up is immersive and believable. That, oh my goodness, this day just sucks. That coincidentally, like a believability, wow, a believable coincidence. That's pretty much the story is based on. So first off, I really enjoyed the whole firefighting. The firefighting itself was pretty intense. They focused on smoke rather than the fire itself, so there's a lot of smoke CG here. Sometimes it's kind of spotty and I go like, wow, that CG is worse than like a YouTube film, but sometimes it's great. And then all the just craziness and the tension is there. So as a firefighting film, it is fine. And then we have the acting. I have to say that Hu Jun from China, a big name China actor, did really well here. Because those films that always brings in the new guy, and then the new guy's like, yeah, gung-ho for life, I can do everything because I want to impress my superiors, blah blah blah. And this is Hu Jun, but then he has 12 years of experience in the story of being a firefighter in China. So the fact that he's gung-ho and just crazy and just super intense is just a new scope of characterization, that, the new guy has experience, and it's justifiable that he's crazy and does everything well. And also, the biggest gripe I have about Hong Kong films lately is that when they work with a China audience, in terms of a China actor coming in for a Hong Kong film, they usually dub their voices, and that drives me nuts because it breaks the immersion. Because like, whoever does the dubs never carries the emotional expressions the actors have when they're on screen. So thank you, Kwok and his team, to just allow Hu Jun to speak Cantonese and Mandarin in times where it's appropriate. Like, his superiors are Cantonese, so he speaks to them in Cantonese, but when things are getting crazy, he just speeds off in Mandarin. And there's another character where she is also from China, and she's like, don't talk to me in Canto, we can go through this in Mandarin. And also Andy On, who plays Nicholas Tse and Sean Yu's superior, he's an American Chinese, so his Canto is not that great. So he speaks English most of the movie, but there are times where he speaks Cantonese. But then the fact that everyone understands everyone makes sense because it's Hong Kong, and the percentage to find people that can understand Mandarin, Cantonese, and English is not that slim. So it's totally immersive for my part, and I really enjoyed it. Another great thing about this film is that it added another layer of firefighting in the terms of where it added the politics of what superiors has to go through when things don't go right. Like, someone entered the room when they were ordered not to, who takes like the heat, and, oh, I gotta introduce the CO to this station, you gotta do what I say, I gotta like make everything look nice, dress and nice, because there's politics involved. And I really enjoy that, because there's always a backlash between like the whole gung-ho firefighting and then the fact that you gotta follow orders, and then adding the actual politics into it really helped in the sense of immersion, as into like, firefighters, yes, they save people, but they still have to realize that they have to protect themselves, and they have to go with protocol. It's not just, I get to the scene, I save everyone, and good job everybody. Like, that's ideal, but there's stuff that you gotta follow, and it shows up here in As the Light Goes Out. And it's just really interesting to see how firefighters who are really like just idealistic, as in like, I need to save people, but when your superior comes in, like, we gotta wait for backup, we have to wait for the structural sound team to come in to make everything like safe for you to go in, because we are not sacrificing one life for another. And I guess that's the one thing I sort of didn't like about this movie, is that they really went preachy with the whole concept of we're not switching lives with citizens. But then at the same time, you see like the craziness of how when a fire goes, firefighters really like send in teams of people to rescue unknown amounts of people. Let's say 20 people go in as firefighters into the scene, and there's only maybe 5 people. And the fact that like these 20 people are putting their lives for these 5 people is just like crazy, and just really appreciative of all firefighters that do their job. Great job, thanks guys. Another mentioning of acting, I guess, with Nicholas C and Sean Yu. Nicholas plays a role where he's calm, and when he speaks, it's really like enlightening sort of way, and it's great to see him because he hasn't been in much films recently, so he seems like a fresh face. So it's just, I don't know, he seems relatable and not just like a super like crazy stardom like, oh, I can't relate to what you're saying. And with Sean Yu, he plays like the whole gung-ho guy, like I'm gonna do this. He's more of a rebel, and it really fits their characters. And Simon Yam is sort of the humor old dude, so I think the characters are written in a way where it's really adaptable to their actual, relatability in terms of their actual, physique and acting. So that was a good point, and I really enjoyed just seeing them on screen. I guess the biggest thing for me that loses points for this movie, beyond the bad smoke CG sometimes, is that the immersion breaks sometimes when it pans out to the outside locales, and then you have people like scrambling about and they're doing really random stuff. Cause I know that they're trying to find entrances to this like fire building, but at the same time I don't really understand why they're digging like 25 feet away from the actual building when there's no underground entrance or anything. So that was always the breaking of immersion for me when it pans out, and I'm like, seriously, can you just go back to the firefighting inside or when they're rescuing people? And another thing with this film is that they try to really do tear-jerking moments where it's like really sad. Like it works the first couple of times, but near the end it feels drawn out, and it's trying to force you to make leak one tear for the sake of leaking a tear. And like I went with it, but I felt that I didn't really need it to be this sad. And I think it would have been better if they didn't try to be as sad in the beginning and force all the sadness into like maybe the last couple of scenes, because I felt there were way too many sad scenes that I'm just like, okay man, this is getting depressing, whoa. And then at the end it was just like, really? But beyond that, I enjoyed this film. At the end, it said it was a tribute to firefighters, and I totally, really appreciate firefighters worldwide. Thank you for doing your job, saving people every day. And yeah, so if you dig firefighter films, totally check this out. And especially if you really dug the whole TVB firefighting series that was aired, I don't know how many years ago, but this movie was pretty good, and I totally recommend it in terms of just, just good pacing of a movie, storytelling, acting, and just tension, and just the relatability and the realism in terms of just what firefighters go through nowadays, and well, in Hong Kong anyway. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this movie review for As the Light Goes Out. Anyway, that's all. See ya.